Hello and welcome, my Too Cool for School peeps. Thanks for stopping by with Painting and Drawing with Harbor Kids Canvas. My name is Miss Stacy and I will be guiding you in our painting today. This is a pre-recorded video, so please feel free at any time to pause it if I'm going too fast or speed it up if I'm going too slow for you. I know that there's going to be lots of different age groups here for this painting, and so welcome first of all. I'm so excited you're here, and thank you for stopping by. So why don't we go ahead and get started. I'm going to remove the canvas and we're going to start with our blank canvas. I hope you all have your materials ready to rock and roll. We're going to start with our blank canvas, and go ahead and grab your chalk. And about 3 inches in to the left side of the canvas, I'm going to go ahead and start the drawing of a curved line all the way up to about 3 inches before the top. So I want to stop right here. And then from here, I want to draw like an egg shape. That's going to be the big eye of the leaf, of the feather, not the leaf, silly me. And then inside, I'm going to go ahead and draw a bigger oval. And then inside that is going to be another oval. But before I close that oval, I want to make a little mountaintop in the middle of that oval. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this painting back in to show you. I drew my oval, and then I drew my other oval with a little mountaintop inside that one. Okay? So from there, if you'd like to, we're going to start drawing the intricate feathers. So these are going to be like wavy lines. And they're kind of close together. Oop, and I'm going to spiral that one. I know this is hard to see, but I want you to keep in mind, and hopefully you have that image, that this is what we're trying to recreate, are some of these lines and some of these swirls. Okay? So let's go ahead and continue. Some won't go all the way, some will go all the way. And I'm making them kind of close. I just want you to be able to see where your lines are. So this is the time to have fun. This is your feather. You make it any way you like. Now once you get up towards the top here, this will be fun because you're running into your little egg shape, your oval of the feather. And so you'll stop here, skip over, and return all the way to the tippy top. Okay? Then we're going to do our other side. Now, these lines are a rough draft, my friends. Do not fall in love with these swirls and these lovely things that you're doing to your feather, because you're going to paint over them. And that's going to be okay, because these are just guidelines. It's just a rough draft. And now I can already tell that my feather is already not going to look like my original feather. And that's okay, because that gives this feather character. And I like that they're not matching, because that's going to make it fun. All right, we're done with our chalk now. And so this is going to be the fun part. We're going to mix some paints. So I want you to go ahead and take your white, and I want you to put about a dime size of white in your palette. And I want you to put about, I want to say that was like a couple seconds squirt of green in the white, inside the white. We want it to be in the same palette, because we are going to take the end now of our paintbrush, and we're going to mix that up until we get and form this beautiful light green. Now, you can add dark green back to it if you think it's too light. You can add more white if it's not light enough. I'm just taking it here and I'm wiping the tip off so I don't touch my brush later. I'm just going to wipe that tip off with the paint. Now, I didn't use my big brush to mix, so I'm going to use my big brush now. We are going to just tip just put the tip of our big brush in the paint, and we're gonna outline that egg shape. And the only reason I'm doing this is for a guideline. I don't want to accidentally put my light green inside this oval, this egg shape. Okay? Now we're going to put a little more paint on, and we are going to just brush on paint. I don't want it to be perfect, guys. I want there to be white splotches. I want the canvas to show through on this. I really don't want it to be perfect. This is sort of like an abstract feather. At least, yeah, like an abstract feather, an abstract background. We don't want it to be perfect, right? We want it to have crisscross shapes, all kinds of fun stuff. Now, if you do happen to have the canvas like I do, I'm going to tilt it. See that? This is called a stretched canvas, and it stretches around. So if you have that kind of canvas, feel free at any point to go ahead and paint your sides too. But you don't want it to look perfect either. You want it to have some white spots showing. Have the canvas pull through. This is what makes it unique. Now, I started with such a small bit of paint in my palette that I'm already needing to refill my palette with some color. I'm going to scoot this over a smidge so we can kind of see still. So I'm going to go ahead, keep painting away if you've got the paint. I'm just going to add just a little bit of white and just a little bit more green. Hopefully I can make that exact color again. And you know what? If it's not exact, that is totally fine. This would add only to our abstract feel that we are trying to give it at the moment. All right. Luckily, that was a perfect mix. You don't get that too often. Now, I really want to make sure I paint at least around my egg shape. Have that thick, solid paint around it. If you have too much paint on your brush ever, go ahead and wipe it off on the other part of your canvas. We just don't want too much paint glooping in one area. So if you have gloopy paint, go ahead and take your paintbrush and just scoop it up and move it around your canvas. Painting is supposed to be a freeing, fun, not worrying about anything. So if you like your gloop, leave your gloop, my friend. I say leave it. Let the glooping begin. But the downfall to glooping, I will give you a little heads up, is that it takes a long time to dry. So if you want to pick it up, move it for this paint class so you can stay going with me, stay the pace, you can move that gloop around. My goal is to not use a hairdryer today. I managed to not use one when I did my sample. And I think we can do it as long as we keep the paint thin and no glooping with this one. So for my gloopers, because I love you too, go ahead and pause and get yourself a hairdryer if you need to. All right. I think I am satisfied with my care on this. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush out. You want to rinse it out good, so give it a good shaking in there. Watch that water make a potion color. That's what I like to tell my kids. Make a potion for me. Okay, I know that my brush is clean because I'm not seeing paint, and I'm going to dab it and set it aside for now. Because we are going to come into our smaller flat brush, and now we're going to need the yellow, just a dime size, and the red. The red is so minuscule. I would just put like a little dot. You really don't need, and if you accidentally put too much, that's okay. Maybe you could share with your partner or someone else that's painting with you today. So with this one, I'm going to get my brush wet first, dab it. That way it's a primed brush. I'm gonna take it, I like to sometimes make it flat, so I do this. You'll see me do that. It's just because I like the flat tip. And so what I like to do, just gonna get the tip of that, not very much. And I'm gonna outline that second oval I have on the inside of my feather here. Just so I know. Now it's okay if you get yellow on the inside of this. So we're painting yellow all on the outside. All out here is yellow, okay? I'm just gonna kind of guide that for you. The inside's gonna be a light blue, and then the very center is gonna be a dark blue. So if you get yellow on the inside, totally fine, because blue's the darker color, right? It's the more dominant. So now I'm gonna go ahead and paint my gloopers. You don't wanna gloop on this one. I love you, but you don't wanna gloop on this one. Try to make it as thin as possible, because guess what? Acrylic paints love layers. So the lighter you can do of the amount of paint used, the better. Because we're gonna do a second coat. Because I'm gonna show you how to mix that red in next, and it's just gonna be flawless. So take your time on this one. I don't wanna feel rushed myself, so I'm just gonna take my time. Plus I wanna get all my brush strokes off of the yellow. So I'm gonna come through again and again and just brush it downward, brush it around, just get those gloops of paint and those paint strokes gone. But you are the artist too, my friends, so if you feel the need to gloop here, gloop. I don't ever want to discourage anyone from their art. I would love it if you guys could post pictures of your final products. I would love to see that. Oh, that would just make me happy, just to see all your beautiful artwork. Because I know you're out there. I just don't see you at the moment. I know you're out there, and I know you love art. I know you love it just as much as I do. All right. How are you guys doing out there? I can't respond to any comments due to this being pre-recorded, so I'm gonna think y'all said, "Oh, I'm doing great. This is amazing." All right. I got the yellow down. You don't really need to. It's just a habit for me to rinse my brush. You can now stick the tip of your brush in the red. It's so minuscule. I don't even know if you can see it. And I'm just gonna kind of like dot it around the bottom here. I may even dot it on my paint palette to get more of the red off. And I may even just swipe to get more of the red off and pat it again on my palette, because I don't really want that much red pulling through. I just want enough to make it so it forms orange. And this may take a while, so don't rush yourself. But don't try to be a perfectionist at the same time. It's hard. That's hard for me to do. I say that. Easier said than done. I love perfect art. And that's why abstract is so hard for me. I can't be crazy. I love being crazy though. I love it in my class. All my kiddos would start telling me stories about this time. We all share our painting tips and what we've learned. I can't wait to hear any painting tips from you guys. If you have any for me, holler. I'd love to hear it. Shoot, I'm learning every day. Okay, I just brought it all the way up at this point. Look at all that red I had in my brush. Oh, okay. I know how to fix that. If you too have all that red still in your brush because you didn't clear your brush like I did. So, the paint is still a little moist, and that's good. So now I'm going to clear my brush because I don't want any more red. Now, I'm going to dip it back in yellow, and I'm going to repaint it all yellow again. At least the top and the sides. I might want to leave the bottom of this little egg shape more yellow, or more red, so I won't paint it yellow. And just be careful, my gloopers. This would be a fun one if I could try to paint splatter it. If you feel like you're still pulling a lot of red, rinse your brush again and just get some more yellow on top of it. So I want to try to really blend my brush strokes too. I didn't want it to be too obvious, but you know, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, right? It'd only make the abstract part of it look amazing. Now this is fun, and I like to teach my kids different ways to use the brush. You can use it flat like this, or you can come in and stand it up straight and draw these little wisps. So the brush does this wisping motion, and that might give it some cool contour. Might give it some more flavor, for lack of better words. Dimension, that's a good one. I like the dimension. It kind of like gives it that feathery, wispy look. Okay, so done with that. Blending, blending, blending. Oops. Now we're going to move on to blue. So I'm going to set my brush down, and I am going to squirt, oh gosh, not even a dime size amount of the blue. And if you do this to one of your kiddos' palettes, it's totally fine because you're going to add white too. We're going to make this really light, soft blue. And there's probably enough in this, in mine that I just showed you to do 2 feathers. So that is still too blue, so I did too much. So just a little smidgy of paint. I need more white. The goal is a sky, a really light sky blue. Okay, wipe the tip of the brush off. Okay, for this one, I'm just sticking the very tip of the brush in, the blue, and I'm going to outline that other oval. It's just a guideline, so you don't need to worry about a lot of paint. Okay, and then from there we'll fill that part in. I feel comfortable with this only being 1 layer. Now I do smidgen at the tip of the brush again just to outline the yellow area because the yellow still is a little wet. We don't want it to blend, but if it blends, that's okay too. It's only going to give it its own character. I can't wait to see and hear all your comments. You know, I'm thinking now that I can see some of this light blue. I'm not using a lot, but I see that it's drying because I'm not using a lot. And because it's drying, I feel like it might need a second coat. And that's okay. Oh, I pulled my yellow in, but that's okay. I'm going to work with it. There we go. Okay, light blue's done. Wash it good. Okay. Now we're going to put just a dot of the blue in our palette, and you're going to put, oh my gosh, the tiniest dot of black in there. You don't want it to overpower, and we're going to mix this one with the end of our brush. Oh, so that just turned out black. So you can just stick them in separate if you'd like, because now here I am wasting paint, because now I have to add paint. More paint, more paint, more paint, but that's okay. So when you add dark colors like black to anything, you're going to darken the color. If you add white to colors, you're going to, does anybody know the answer? Lighten the color. And with lightening it, it means it's going to make it brighter. All right, so I have this beautiful deep, deep blue. So I'm just sticking just the tip in over here, tip of the brush. And then I come in and I'm just gonna slowly outline the inside of the oval. All right. Trying to hurry for anyone that's already done these steps. There's my perfectionist kicking in though. I just want it just right. That's okay, it can be just right. Okay. So this is where you kind of want to use the flat end. Hold your brush kind of flat. You want to not make so many brush marks. And I think what I'm going to do is later on I'm going to come through here again with another coat because I pulled a lot of my light blue through, this is okay. I just have a lot of swirlies in there. Okay. Awesome. I feel like I need another coat of yellow. I don't know how y'all are feeling, but I'm gonna slap another coat on real quick. I just feel like it needs that. I'm gonna whip through it quickly. Kind of takes away those brush marks from the red. I had a lot of red brush strokes in there too. Oh, looking good, looking a lot cleaner. That's what I love about taking time with painting is you just kind of, you're able to see, I pulled the blue. You're able to see and figure out just kind of what you want to do. It's playtime basically. It's playtime with paint. Okay, thanks for waiting for me while I did that. I'm running out of room. Okay, now we are going to use the chalk. So, got the chalk. We're gonna take about the center of the egg shape of the feather and we're just gonna imagine that line again. That's like the bone of the line. And now we're going to, well, you have the option here. The chalk and the paintbrush and the paint, when you paint over the chalk, can get built up and frustrating to deal with. Not all the time, but it's up to you. Up to you what you want to do. If you want to continue to draw these feathery lines in, go for it. I think I got what I want to do. There's a swirly here. I'm going to do a half one here. Let's see if I can do an opposite one up here. Oh, I did. Get kind of fun with it. So you can draw your lines back in, or we can go ahead and start doing our feather lines. So our feather lines are going to be the dark green. So go ahead and pour a little dark green in your palette or on your plate. Okay, and we're going to need a little bit of that gold. If you don't have gold, improvise, use another color. I would love to see different feather colors too. That would be great. It doesn't always have to be exactly what the picture is. But sometimes when you're first painting, you really want that picture to look exactly like that one. So I get it, I get it. So I put a dot of red, I put a dot of green, and I put a dot of gold. So what I'm gonna do now is you can either use your rounded brush or you can use your small flat brush. So I'm gonna use my small flat brush and I'm gonna dip it in the green. And then I'm going to just outline that feather line. You can start with the bone too first, the bone of the feather. I don't even know if that's what it's called, but it sounds right. And you'll kind of see, if you did the chalk marks and you're doing this with me, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about with the chalk. It just kind of starts to build up. Maybe run through it first and get it off your paintbrush if you don't like it. And then I like to come through again, because if I don't do it, it's not going to be a hard line. And sometimes I like that hard line, especially if it's the bone of the feather. Just want it to be predominant. I hope if my mommies are with me that they're able to, well, enjoy their coffee while we do this. Kind of like a paint and sip. But it's hard to sip while you're painting, and it's hard to make your lines straight too. All right, so there's a hard line. And then I'm just gonna come through, and you might want to skip maybe a feather line. Save that one for the gold. Come through and do like a lot of hard green lines. And have fun with it. Even though my paintbrush is straight up, when I do that curve, my brush tends to flatten out, and then I get a harder, thicker line, which is really fun too. So I'm going to come in between these two. I have two swirlies over here. Yeah, perfect. Oh, the feather's coming together now. It's looking so pretty. How is your feather coming along? Okay, let's pause here because I also want to show you another color that we can do to make this dark green, because I'm noticing that it's pretty light. Take the corner of your brush and dip it in that red, just a smidge, like a dot of a dot, and go ahead and mix it in with your green. This is going to, just like the black, darken that green up. So now you've got this really nasty looking green, which is great for our feather. So now I'm going to come in down here below and just kind of redo feather lines. Oh yeah, that looks good. I like that. I like having these multicolor feathers. I think I like that. I think that's a great idea. I need more green, just a dot. And I'm gonna put some of those green ones on this side too. Might as well just start with one color and then work our way along with other colors. And these squiggle lines can go any way you want them to go. This could be one of those feathers that you just carried around all day and twirled it in the air and blew on it and showing your best friend, look at my feather I got. It's so cool. And then they touched it and they played with it, and next thing you know, it's kind of like a mangled feather. And that's what my feathers kind of, I feel like my smaller feathers are turning out to be, and that's okay because I kind of like it. I see the adventure in the feather. You're going to get to a point when you keep dabbing your brush into the paint. Oh, that was a really hard. There we go. Fix that one out. You're going to get to a point where your brush, you could see the paint just loaded in it. So what we're going to do is rinse it at that time. Rinse all that paint out. You don't want all that paint loaded in there. It's just, it makes it easier to work if you have just put the paint at the tip of the brush, because it starts to collect inside the brush. I'm just mixing some more paint off to the side here. I'm sorry I had to redo some of my feathers. Sometimes doing that is okay. Sometimes probably you shouldn't, because you can make more of a mess than if you didn't, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. It's working good for me. It's funny. My feather's turning out funny, but that's okay. Don't forget when you get up towards that eye of the feather there to kind of skip over the yellow part. I almost went through mine. Remember to pull your feather line all the way through to the end of your canvas. All right, so I've done all my feathers. I kind of sped through and messed some feathers up. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my green and my flat brush and I'm gonna outline the eye in the darker green, just to give it a little more dimension and kind of hide those feather lines. Now you do not have to do this part at all. I just am hiding feather lines, kind of trying to make it all blend and look all natural. Okay, I think that's it. Oh my goodness. Did anybody do their gold yet? I felt like I was so stuck on my multicolor greens that I'm just gonna throw some gold in too. I think I like this feather a little more only because I have a lot more feather lines than my other one. And I'm going to kind of put some more gold on top of the gold I did. And it turns out a little different once it's dry. I ended up liking mine a little better once it dried too. So just to kind of do the final finale for you guys too on this video, or this painting I should say, not so much the video, but what you can do is if you really like your feather painting and you just love it and you want to hang it up, there is a sealer. It's called varnish. You can varnish your painting, or you can, if you have a spray can of clear coat, after it's completely dried, go ahead and do a clear coat on it and just seal it up and give it that nice professional pop. It'll shine bright like a diamond. It'll just look really, really nice. Oh, yay. This is looking good. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I want to take the time to thank you for painting with me. And I look forward to our next class. And I look forward to answering all your comments, questions, and concerns. And I also look forward to seeing your paintings. So please take pictures and post on the event, post on the page. I would love to see it all. I'm on this page 24/7 right now. So thank you so much and have a beautiful morning and a great homeschool day. All right, kids, bye.